Interviews are one of the most popular pieces of content that podcasters tend to create. Perhaps you've been thinking about recording some interviews for your podcast, or maybe you've even considered having a remote co-host. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to use Zoom to host and record an interview for your podcast. Welcome back to another Hammer Street Productions tutorial. My name is Michael Beagley, and I'm an audio producer and audio content creator. You can visit my website at hammerstreetproductions.com for more. Thanks for joining us today for another video in our tutorial series, How You Can Make a Podcast Using Only Free Software. If you're a podcast creator, you might want to watch the entire series. There are a lot of useful tips and tricks in there, so please be sure to look for the series playlist in the description. Okay, so in this video we are going to cover how to use Zoom, the free version of Zoom, the familiar business chat software, in order to host and record interviews for your podcast. With the free version of Zoom, you can host a video call with multiple people, but there's a time limit of up to 40 minutes. Or you can have a video chat with one other participant for an unlimited amount of time. In paid versions, you can also record your sessions in the cloud. The paid version has some really nice features, but if you're trying to create your podcast on a budget, the free version will give you a lot of really useful functionality that you can do a lot with. Okay, so here I am using Zoom, and this is the free version of Zoom. I have 2 accounts, 1 subscription, and 1 for free. So I just wanted to show you that this is possible in the free version, I promise. Right, so as you can see, I've set myself up for the Zoom call, and I've invited other me through the iPad. As you can see, it's titled iPad here, and thank goodness I've muted it. Otherwise, this is really chaotic. The sound echoes really badly. Okay, right. So I just wanted to point out quickly before we get started that when you're here in your Zoom settings, I choose the default location for our examples here, although you can choose any location for your recordings to end up. Here's the most important thing that I check. This doesn't come checked as default, so I really recommend you go into your settings, put the recording section on the settings, and click this box. So this is record a separate audio file for each participant who speaks. And this is going to become really important as we get into our editing process. You really want to separate your guest voice from your voice because it's going to be recorded in a different room, and we're going to want to do different things to you're just going to want to edit them separately for the best results. There's some other options in here, like I don't bother with a timestamp to the recording. Some people do that, especially for video editing. That could be useful to you. It's not very useful for me, so I don't bother. Yeah, so check out these settings, choose what's best for you. These are what's best for me, but especially this one, record a separate audio file for each participant who speaks. I highly recommend that. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to come down here and you just want to hit record with your mouse button. So just left click, record. Okay, it's just as simple as that. Now we're recording. Now keep in mind, my interview guest is me on my iPad, so I'm muted. So make sure your interview guest is unmuted. Let's maybe mute me for a minute.
And here we go. Thanks for having me on the podcast. Talking to myself.
Okay, so now it's recorded everything. So let's go in and let's find our recording. We can either pause or stop the recording. So if you and your guest want to maybe go take a short break in the middle of a long podcast recording, you might want to hit pause. So you can keep one recording for your editor or for yourself to edit later. Or you can stop the recording because we're finished here. So let's stop. The recorded file will be converted to MP4 when the meeting ends. So let's go ahead and end the meeting, and it's going to save the meeting as an MP4, which is a really common file type. It's kind of like the MP3 of video. So here we go. End meeting for all. Okay. It's going to take a minute to convert the meeting recording. Quick tip, make sure that you have enough space on your hard drive. Okay, so now I go down here to the Zoom folder, which is in my Documents folder. So if you lose this, what if you do? If you just click cancel and get out of here, don't forget, go into Documents. So it should be this PC, Documents, and Zoom. And this is just the default setting, okay? Now it's got the date here. This is the 14th of September in 2020. It's got the audio recording. and it's got the video recording. So, okay. Get out of Zoom. Okay, so what we're going to want to do with this file, first let's locate it. So it's really convenient. We go into Documents, all the way down to Z for Zoom, and we open up our folder. And here we go. It's got our audio only and our video playback. So we can watch a video playback if you're trying to produce. So simple as that. Now we're recording. Now keep in mind, my interview guest is me. Okay, cool. So that's proof that exists. So if you want to make a YouTube-based podcast, that could be an option. You've got your video to work with. Very convenient. If you want to deal with audio only, we're going to have a little bit more to work with here. So this is an M4A audio file. And most of the time, our M4A audio files aren't going to work with aren't going to behave well with our software. So we do need to go in and to find a converter. So the converter I want to recommend is Cloud Convert. Really, I just Google search this, M4A to WAV. WAV is a file format that we're going to want to use with our audio editing software. You can also convert to MP3, but the audio editing software I'm going to recommend insists that you use WAV. So the quality might not be perfect, but keep in mind, guys, this is podcasting, and so audiophiles aren't necessarily going to obsess with your audio quality. What we want to do is get as clean a recording as possible. Zoom's going to help us with that a bit, but a lot of it is just about getting that information out on your podcast, including that interview. So convert M4A to WAV is what we're going to want to do. Okay, and let's select our file. Okay, so I want to go to this PC, then I want to go to Documents, remember, all the way down to Z Zoom, open it up, and here we go. Go to the audio recording, select both of our files because it's got both me and the iPad, or for you, it would be you and your guest. And this is so convenient, everyone. This is so convenient to be able to edit your files separately because your audio quality is going to be different than your interviewee's audio quality. Okay, so I open these, I click Convert. Okay, now I can download all files. I'm just going to download them separately, though. Okay, that didn't take very long because our files are really short. I can X out of this video, no problem. Okay, so now let's go back to downloads. Just click downloads, and here we go. Audio only me and audio only iPad. Just to keep us organized, I really recommend, guys, that you start a new folder for this. So new folder, obviously I won't keep this on my desktop forever. I'm probably going to reorganize it. So podcast example, here we go. And then probably make a subfolder from there, right? And Zoom recordings, okay. And here we go. Now, obviously, if you're doing a podcast that's a series, you're going to do subfolders upon subfolders for each unique episode, okay? Well, I think that about does it for this recording. We're sitting here with 2 unique WAV files, one for the person giving the interview, yourself, and then another one for your guest. And with these files, in future videos, I'll teach you how to edit these and then publish your podcast and make a really nice sounding podcast using only free software. Thanks so much for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next video.